What it do? Everyday people, we up in the day. We up in this thing. We never leave. It seems like I never be off work. Like I literally work 2 jobs. But now that we here, I want to make things clear. Okay. Try to bring y'all's asses in and sit the fuck down. We got to get this hookah started. Cause what we finna talk about. Anyway, we about to talk about these Epstein files. Ooh wee. Jeffrey Epstein, minute with me, see. I know I took forever, look. I'm still not ready. I'm still not ready, but I got everything ready. We about to get lit though. We about to get lit. I'm telling you, I wasn't even gonna go live tonight. I'm for real. I wasn't gonna go live tonight, but I thought this was very important because, I mean, I think Republicans were holding off on the shutdown too. They just weren't vocal about it. They didn't have to be vocal about it. And this is one thing I see with the Republican people that I follow. The Republican people that I follow, they have not touched this subject of the Epstein files. They refuse to touch the subject of the Epstein files, and I think it's disgraceful because the only thing they're saying is, well, I mean, the economy's doing this, and well, these people are doing that, and this person is broke over here, and this person committed this crime, and oh, these 2 people are shot over here. But where them damn Epstein files? They will not say, now that the government is shut down, we can get back to looking for the Epstein files. Not one Republican or claim to be Republican or right-leaning podcast has talked about bringing the Epstein files up. Right after the government shut down, they shut the fuck down. The government been shut down for 40-something days. Right after that, the podcast talking about the Epstein's files shut down. They was like, ooh, what? I guess the government open. I guess we got to figure out something else to talk about to keep our minds off these Epstein files. You know why? We gonna get into that. So I hope y'all know. I hope y'all know we finna get into these Epstein files because Donald Trump been cheating. Yeah, Donald Trump been cheating on his girl. What's her name? Melania. It ain't the first time Donald cheated on his wife. Like, let's be real. If I had $1 million, I'd cheat on mine too. Okay. Sometimes, if you got money, you deserve to cheat a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like, I put in all this work, I deserve to bust. I'm just playing. I'm just joking for those who don't take my jokes. Fucking weirdos. But anyway, let's go into let's get into Donald Trump. We get into Donald Trump is afraid of the Epstein files, and we're gonna get into it. We ain't never getting.
You solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations, you're now a member of the 119th Congress.
It has been 50 days since the people of Arizona's 7th Congressional District elected me to represent them. 50 days that over 800,000 Arizonans have been left without access to the basic services that every constituent deserves. This is an abuse of power.
She hit Mike Johnson with the Uno reverse.
Individual should not be able to unilaterally obstruct the swearing in of a duly elected member of Congress for political reasons.
He sat there and was happy that you in here now, good job. And she said, bitch, you kept me out. That's what I'm talking about, because Mike Johnson know why he kept her out, right? We finna get into that just in a moment. Y'all know what's happening. We finna get them Epstein files, big dog.
Our democracy only works when everyone has a voice. This includes the millions of people across the country who have experienced violence and exploitation, including Liz Stein and Jessica Michaels, both survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. They are here in the gallery with us this evening. Thank you for being here. Just this morning, House Democrats released more emails showing that Trump knew more about Epstein's abuses than he previously acknowledged. It's past time for Congress to restore its role as a check and balance on this administration and fight for we, the American people. We need to fight for our immigrant communities and veterans. We need to stand up for our public schools, children, and educators. We need to respect tribal sovereignty in our environment. We need to stand up for LGBTQ+ rights, because that's what the American people expect us to do. Fight for them. That is why I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein files. Our democracy...
She said, not now, but right now. I want y'all to listen to this. Let's see if this
Epstein flight logs.
All right, these are the people that were on Epstein Island, confirmed by multiple sources. Bill Clinton, George Mitchell, Alex Baldwin, Ralph Fiennes, George Hamilton, Dustin Hoffman, Kevin Spacey, Liz Hurley, Laura Hutton, Janice Dixon, Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, Henry Kissinger, which may be one of the most evil men on the world.
He is, yeah.
Joan Rivers, Courtney Love, Mick Jagger, Courtney Guest, Phil Collins, Simon LeBon, Charlie Rose of PBS, Richard Branson, Candace Bushel, Tom Ford, Vera Wang, Nadia Byerlin, Co Stark, and here's some more. Seth Green, James Gunn, Dan Schneider, Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, Stephen Colbert, Kevin Spacey, Kathy Griffin, Oprah Winfrey, Sean Carter, Beyonce Knowles, Anthony Kiedis, John Legend, Christy Teigen Tyler, Ben Affleck, Stephen Collins, Will Ferrell, Eminem, Jeffrey Jones, Victor Salva, Mark Rector, Charlie Sheen, Tyler Grasham.
You know what makes me think this is not real? Because he said Eminem. Eminem is not his name. It would have said Marshall Mathers, but they said Eminem. So I don't understand why you would say Sean Carter, Beyonce Knowles, Eminem. Is that... So, this flight log, I can show you. How can I go to this thing? Let me see if I could get this whole... I don't want all my damn messages to come out. They be like, oh, you a freaky nigga. I'm like, yeah. I'm just playing. I'm trying to get to the fuck. I'm trying to get to the actual.
Are you asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
Yeah, I need you to tell me why it is wrong in your eyes
To rape
to
children.
do that. Yes. Do you need me to repeat it? Can you not hear me? Do you have too many cocks in your ears, or what's up?
I don't know what that was wrong. That was the wrong message.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a list of names from the Epstein flight logs.
All right, these are the people that were on Epstein Island, confirmed by.
Bruh, I don't know. Maybe they got this video hidden or something. Cause anyway.
Democrats tried to extort our country.
Islam.
Jeffrey
Anyway.
Epstein mentioned Donald Trump by name multiple times in private correspondence over the last 15 years or so. These are newly released emails obtained by CNN that show Jeffrey Epstein bringing Donald Trump up in conversations with Ghislaine Maxwell and the author Michael Wolff. We got them after members of Congress got their hands on them after they subpoenaed Jeffrey Epstein's estate, which in turn handed over thousands of documents to Congress. Now, in these emails, there's one that is a few years after Jeffrey Epstein got that sweetheart deal down in Florida, where Trump is referenced specifically by the late sex trafficker. Jeffrey Epstein writes in this email to Ghislaine Maxwell in April 2011 and says, "I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there." Maxwell responded and said, "I have been thinking about that." Now, the name of this person was redacted by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee because they say she is a victim of Jeffrey Epstein's. But shortly after these emails were released, Republicans on that committee identified her as Virginia Giuffre. She's one of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent survivors who died by suicide earlier this year. The Republicans are noting that in her book that she wrote, she talks about how she met Donald Trump, but does not accuse him of any wrongdoing. Now, of course, Trump himself is not actually a party to these emails. He is simply only talked about in these emails, and he has denied any wrongdoing and hasn't been accused of any. In another email that was released by the committee, the author Michael Wolff and Jeffrey Epstein are talking when Donald Trump is in office. This is in 2019. And Jeffrey Epstein seems to reference when Trump was saying that
I'm here today.
They want you to play a real.
I was reading.
You.
When I started dealing with.
This person posts so much, they don't even know what they be posting. Tell nobody figure out what the hell is going on with their channel, because it's
All this extra shit, I don't even know. I'm mad. I should have just got an Uber, bro.
Alright. Back to the regular scheduled program.
Breaking news rocking Washington, D.C. Never before seen emails released this morning by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, raising new questions about President Trump's relationship with convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. The emails provided to Congress.
Hold on. It says, Smokey Swiss says, don't Dems get tired of loosing live in 4K like y'all throw the book at Trump and he's still steadily dunking on you. We gon' loosing. Butterfly in the sky. I could go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Hey, it's losing. And that comes with one O, okay? But regardless of that, nobody's losing. America loses anytime America loses, okay? Anytime Americans lose, America's lose. It makes no sense, okay? I don't think this is a witch hunt for people after Donald Trump. I think this is a witch hunt after pedophiles. If Donald Trump happens to be a part of the pedophilia, then so be it. But there's also names of Tom Hanks, Bill Clinton, Uh, Kevin Spacey, he's listed twice. They mentioned Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm not sure if that's true. They mentioned Eminem. They didn't say Marshall Mathers but they named everybody else by name. But they didn't say Jay-Z. They said Sean Carter. So if they said Sean Carter, not Jay-Z, that means he didn't sign his name Jay-Z. He signed his name Sean Carter. But it would be crazy to think that Eminem would sign his name Eminem and not Marshall Mathers on a flight log. Doesn't make sense. So, but they said Pharrell Williams. These are names that I know. Some of these other people, like Ben Affleck, I don't know. Tom Hanks. He doesn't even live in America no more. Why do you think Tom Hanks left the country? Why? Because he don't want to deal with the backlash of all the white women that he slept with that was underage and all that other stuff. And the women he forced into relationships. But y'all didn't hear that from me. I'm just regurgitating other stuff that I heard from everywhere else.
By the Epstein estate show private correspondence between Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell and between Epstein and author Michael Wolff, with multiple references to Trump, all raising more questions about what Trump knew and when. Epstein writing in a 2011 email to Maxwell that Trump, quote, spent hours at his house with a sex trafficking victim. Epstein calls Trump in this email a, quote, dog that hasn't barked. We should note it's not clear what exactly Epstein meant by those comments. Let's bring in MSNBC Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Delanian. Ken, take us through what these emails say and their significance.
I mean, if you ask me what it means that there's a dog that hasn't barked, that means he's not telling. He's not snitching. A dog that hasn't barked is basically if you have a pet dog and an intruder comes into your backyard, what would you expect your dog to do? Bark, bark, bark. Or roof, roof, whatever dog you got, big dog, little dog. People are coming into their backyard and Trump is like, I'll be the most transparent president you have, but I'm not going to tell you my secrets. You think I am stupid? So yeah, he's a dog that hasn't barked. The intruder will come in and he won't say a word. He'll be like, it's not us.
Good morning, Anna. Well, the one you just read is perhaps the most important one because it was written by Jeffrey Epstein in 2011, long before Donald Trump's political career. And he used the phrase, the dog that hasn't barked. That's a phrase from a Sherlock Holmes story suggesting a clue. And he says that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted name of a victim, spent hours at my house with him. He's never once been mentioned. And then he uses the phrase police chief, etc. So these emails, essentially what they do is they raise new questions about...
It could also mean they was trying to get Donald Trump to sleep with the underage victim, and Donald Trump never slept with her. It's the dog that haven't, hey, we don't know what it is. We don't know whatever, unless, what's her name? Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever. Unless she says what that means, we don't know what that means. A dog that haven't barked, that means they put a little cat. They put a cat in the backyard for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, being a dog, didn't bark at it. So that means he not chasing the cat. What do dogs chase? The cat.
Donald Trump's longstanding contention that he had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's massive sex trafficking operation. These emails suggest that they don't suggest that Donald Trump was part of it. They suggest, though, that he may have known about it. There was another email written years later to Michael.
No, Donald Trump knew about it. He was like, "Oh, y'all ain't finna get me. Oh no." Why must I chase the cat? He said, "I grab her by the pussy, but I don't chase the cat." Okay.
Explosive.
Breaking news rocking Washington, D.C. significance.
Good morning, Anna. Well, the one you just read is perhaps the most important one because it was written by Jeffrey Epstein in 2011, long before Donald Trump's political career. And he used the phrase, "the dog that hasn't barked." That's a phrase from a Sherlock Holmes story. Hours at my house with him, he's never once been mentioned. And then he uses the phrase police chief, etc. So these emails, essentially what they do is they raise new questions about Donald Trump's longstanding contention that he had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's massive sex trafficking operation. These emails suggest that they don't suggest that Donald Trump was part of it. They suggest, though, that he may have known about it. There was another email written years later to Michael Wolff, the author from Jeffrey Epstein. And the context here appears to be about Jeffrey Epstein being kicked out of the Mar-a-Lago golf club. Epstein says, "Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever." And then he adds, "Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop." And then the third email is between Wolff and Epstein, and it's about Wolff telling Epstein that he believes that Trump will be asked in an interview, this is in 2015 as he's running for president, about his relationship with Epstein. And Epstein asked Wolff, if I were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Now, that, of course, suggests that Epstein would be in communication with Trump and would be helping him craft an answer to a media question. And then Wolff answers, "I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt." So again, that suggests that Wolff and Epstein believe that Trump was more involved or has more knowledge of Epstein's operation than he was letting on. Again, none of this is definitive, but this adds to the picture and adds to the questions that both Republicans and Democrats have about what
the fact that none of this is definitive. I don't want if there is, who the hell else you got? Who give us some definitive answers? I think some of these news outlets are so hell bent on Trump being on that list because, yeah, of course it's the big story. It's the big story, but there are clearly some guilty people on that list who knew what the fuck was going on and they ready to deal with some minors and they just oh, let's go after Trump. We've been trying to get this list for months now. Can we get the predators? Like, y'all worried about Trump. Like, Trump is the dog that didn't bark. Okay? Obviously, I see it as he the dog that didn't do what they wanted him to do. Or something. But I don't, this is another one that Trump slithered out of. I don't see Trump as he might grab him by the pussy, but I don't think he's a child predator in this situation. Not in this situation, but Miss America situation, definitely a predator. Trump is a predator for grown women, not little girls. If you a grown woman, Trump like him. What was her name? Stormy Daniels. Trump like Stormy Daniels. He liked grown old women. Okay, he didn't like young women. He didn't like young kids. He wasn't that stupid. I don't think Trump is a rapist, but I mean, I think he is, but I don't think he's a pedophile. Let's listen. You got to pay attention.
Explosive news today. Newly released emails from Jeffrey Epstein specifically mentioning Donald Trump by name. Lots of bombshells, but here's what you need to know. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee obtained more than 23,000 emails from Epstein's estate. They released 3 of them, including one where the sex trafficker wrote that Trump had, quote, spent hours at Epstein's house with one of Epstein's victims. That 2011 email was from Epstein to longtime confidant and now convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell. It came amid a lawsuit that would expose some of his conduct. Epstein wrote, quote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim, the name redacted, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned." Another bombshell. In a separate message, Epstein said that Trump, quote, "knew about the girls." That was in a 2019 email to journalist Michael Wolff, who has written a lot about Trump. Epstein wrote,
"Do y'all see this? That's what I'm saying. If y'all saying, oh, you don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there, stupid. Like, neither were you. How you gonna tell me I don't know and you wasn't there either? Unless you were. You little freaky fucks. First of all, I don't care if Trump was there. I do care if when he was there, did he participate in sex with the kids? Also, there were hundreds of other people on that list. Who are they? Are they involved? Can we get some definitive answers? We focus on the president. Great. That's all amazing. Trump was a dog that didn't bark. As we know, Trump is a dog that didn't bark. What the fuck does that mean? Y'all sitting over, you don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. None of y'all know nothing. None of you know nothing. That's what we waiting on. We waiting to get the facts. That's what y'all just be saying shit. See, that's why I be talking. I don't care. It don't matter if I'm for Trump or against Trump. I want the truth. Who's the pedophile? I didn't wait on the Epstein files to go after Trump. I want to wait on the Epstein files to go after all the hundreds of pedophiles. Hundreds. Okay? Now, if Trump happens to be one of them, we after his ass too. But as far as we know, he's a dog that didn't bark. What does that mean? Does anybody know? Nobody. Nobody knows what that means. Doesn't matter unless we talk to Ghislaine or Giselle, whatever her name is, Miss Maxwell. Release the files. We only gonna know if we release the files. Y'all keep you don't know Trump is. Yeah, we all know he was there. We all know he did that stupid little dance with Epstein. We all know he was in Epstein's ear. Epstein was like, you know the cool person when you see the non-cool person all up in the cool person's ear. That was Trump. Nobody liked Trump. None of the billionaires liked Trump before he was president. Let's be real. Once they knew Trump was about to be president, that's when billionaires liked him. Nobody liked him. We've heard this thousands and thousands of times before. None of the billionaires liked. You think Epstein liked Trump? Hell no. He was trying to lock Trump in. He was like, oh, he gonna take the bait. Trump gonna fuck with these little kids. And once he do, we got him. So let's be real. Like y'all act like y'all got all the answers. Y'all don't got no answers. If you don't got no definitive proof, you can't say I'm not doing nothing. I'm reading the same shit you reading. Goof ass.
President Trump has said he wasn't a fan of Epstein's. He's called him a creep. He's called the push for more information about Epstein a Democratic hoax. What questions specifically do you have for the president about these emails?
Well, my questions to the president would be, first, is what was your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, did you know what was happening? He was obviously running a huge sex trafficking ring. Why are there so many cases of these connections back to Mar-a-Lago? Jeffrey Epstein himself said that Donald Trump was one of his best friends. Why would he say that? And there's so many questions to ask. And the president could right now end all of the speculation and do the right thing for the survivors by releasing the files. The president himself has said that he has done nothing wrong, then release the files. Because we know for a fact that there are many, many powerful men, some of the most powerful, wealthiest men in this country that have done and committed harm to children and to girls and women in this country. And those women, now women, deserve justice. So it is time to end this White House cover-up and release the Epstein files today.
President Trump has said he wasn't a fan. These emails that were revealed today do not.
I have your statement about the new Epstein emails that have been released by House Democrats. Separate from why you believe the emails were made public, can you address their substance? Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on in this room, so I will go ahead.
Wait, she said President Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he was a pedophile and a creep. So did you know, or did you not? Hey, shout out to my boy T6 for the 100. Did you know or did you not know he was a creep? Did you know or did you not know that he was a pedophile? She just said, she admitted why he kicked him out. Because we know, you knew. Regardless if you knew, you be like, I didn't know, I didn't have no. Man, just say you turned the other cheek. You saw that shit and was like Martin Luther King looking ass.
Ahead and say it, Virginia Guffrey. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Guffrey maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her. And so I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and is unfortunately no longer with us.
I'm going to just say this. Democrats do handle shit terribly when it comes to, you know, being transparent. Like, just be honest. Just be honest with the situation. You know, if the woman publicly came out and said something, but they didn't want to pose her as a victim, but just leaving the name redacted makes it seem like, oh, there's a key witness. Well, no, it's not actually a key witness. We already know who this person is, and that's why the Republican Party, they got a one-up because it was like, oh, here it is. This is the person who said this. It's not a secret. She wants her name to be out there. Democrats be putting their foot in their mouth, man. They be just hiding shit. And that shit just be pissing me off. But like, cause goddamn, don't y'all want to get to the truth? You can't get to the truth by constantly lying. When you get to the truth, you gotta bring facts and proof. And hiding people is not the way that you bring facts and proof. Especially when the Republicans are ready to crash out and say, oh, this is her right here. Like, they ready to. Republicans will tell on themselves. Just like she said, she told on herself at the beginning of this. Listen.
Your statement about the new Epstein emails that have been released by House Democrats, separate from why you believe the emails were made public, can you address their substance? Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
So, when Donald Trump says he doesn't know that he was a pedophile and a creep, this goes directly against what she just... I didn't know anything was going on. I had no idea that he was sleeping with underage women when they said he was a dog that didn't bark. He's a dog, but he ain't barking. That means Donald Trump, he wasn't trying to sleep with these underage girls, but he knew it was something there. Hey man, hey, we can kick it. I need your donation, but I don't need your woman, okay? Because it's not really a woman. That's a kid, brother. That's a kid.
What was the relationship between President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, the financier and convicted sex offender? What did the president know about what Epstein was up to? And was Mr. Trump involved in any way?
Those are just some of the questions being asked as journalists read through thousands of pages of Epstein documents released yesterday by the House Oversight Committee.
The president has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and calls it all a hoax perpetrated by Democrats.
Now, in Epstein's emails and texts, we are getting his side of the story. Here to tell both sides of the story is Justice Correspondent Scott McFarland. Scott?
Hey, John, amid this tonnage of messages and records, Jeffrey Epstein is critical of the president and says he knew about the girls, turning a long simmering controversy to boil.
President Trump's name appears hundreds of times in the newly released batch of 23,000 pages of records and messages from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Something the president declined to answer questions about again today. The emails and texts involving Trump include Epstein saying that he'd met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, and that Trump once left his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused he walked straight into the door. And another in which Epstein said Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period, but never got a massage. Late last night, Trump called the Epstein scandal a hoax, and he has long denied knowing of Epstein's crimes.
I had no idea. I haven't spoken to him in many, many years.
In a 2010 deposition, Epstein...
Yeah, you ain't spoke to him in many, many years because when you kicked him out, you realized he was a pedophile, but you didn't know. That's a lie. When you see these, when you saw those women, you saw those young little girls in that thing, you was like, He said, those look but don't touch. Look but don't touch. Oh, there's some very fine women on both sides. Bro, Trump seen it. He didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing because he ain't a snitch. Trump is not a snitch. Trump just pardoned 70 of his homies. Trump is not a snitch. What y'all talking about? Trump do what any of y'all would do. You know, back in the hood, they'd be like, Cameron said, if I lived next to a serial killer, I wouldn't snitch. Well, Trump was taking donations from a pedophile. And he said, I'm not snitching. That's a fact.
Was asked about his experiences with Trump.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
One of the recipients of Epstein's emails, author Michael Wolff, told a podcast Wednesday Trump and Epstein were close.
Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had this deep relationship. They knew everything about each other. Their obsession was women, girls, models.
Today, the White House dismissed Wolff's claims, saying he's been proven to be a fraud. Epstein survivor Annie Farmer, who alleges Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell abused her when she was 16, tells CBS News the newly obtained messages show why the Trump administration should make all the Epstein case files public.
We're just asking for the full files to be released so we don't have to continue to live, in this roller coaster world where you never know what's coming one day to the next.
A handful of Republicans, including Colorado's Lauren Boebert, are supporting a bill that would require the release of those files. Wednesday, the Attorney General and FBI Director personally lobbied Boebert to change her mind.
But the U.S. House Speaker says they will proceed on this vote, which could release the Epstein files and proceed with the vote next week. Despite the nudging and the arm twisting, there still seem to be the necessary 218 votes to pass it in the House and put pressure on the Senate to do the same.
Okay, Scott McFarland in D.C., thank you.
Shout out to Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she the one of the forefront Republicans. It's like, release those files.
Trying to talk about this story for a very long time now.
They calling this guy a liar. They saying he's not telling the truth.
And this is, well, perhaps we're getting close to the smoking gun. These two men, Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, had the closest of relationships for more than a decade. They shared everything. They shared their airplanes. They shared women between them. They shared constantly business and financial advice. You know, it's curious that Epstein's relationship with so many people in public life has damaged them considerably. But the one person who he was closest to has not been held accountable. That's Donald Trump. I have been trying.
Now, you know what? They say they were close. I don't believe that. I believe Epstein knew Trump would run for president and knew where he was going. I don't believe that he thought that they were close friends. In no real reality in the world do I think anybody would be a close friend of Trump. Unless, well, I guess Epstein is a criminal. But a smart one. A smart criminal. One of the top billionaires. The top billionaire that had everybody. And the fact of the matter is that you couldn't come to his island unless you rode on his plane. So he did it for a specific reason. He said, if you come to my island, you have to ride on my plane. You can't take your own private plane to my island unless you pay a fee. There was probably a fee to make it to his island on your own private plane. Because think about it. You think Trump couldn't taken a private plane to this island? Do you think Donald Trump couldn't have taken a private plane to the Epstein Island? There's a reason why Epstein wanted all these people to ride on his plane. Just so he can have something on every single person who got on that plane and landed on that island. He wasn't a stupid man. So do you think that Epstein would be that stupid not to have something on Trump? And everybody would be like, Hillary Clinton took out Epstein. Hillary Clinton took out Epstein. Epstein got a lot of names of high profile people. Anybody could have took his ass out. Anybody. Epstein Island isn't the problematic island. Yes, it is. But it's who has access to Epstein Island is problematic. Not the island itself. Like, of course we know that.
To talk about this story for a very long time now.
Is this another indication, fellas? They got to release everything that they have. Otherwise, this drip, drip, drip will just be going. Bill O'Reilly, what is your take on the significance?
So on St. Patrick's Day of this year, I was in the Oval Office with President Trump, and he asked me, what about the Epstein files? Should they be released? And I said, Mr. President, if there is verification of facts in the Epstein case from the Attorney Generals, Barr and Garland, what we see today is a bunch of innuendo. It's hearsay. There isn't any direct backup for any allegation because there aren't any allegations other than Trump may have been in a house where there are some girls. Okay, so you have the lady in question, and I feel very bad for Miss Giuffre's family. He committed suicide. What a horrible thing. The whole thing is just awful. And that's right on Epstein.
I'm sick of all these people attached to Epstein committing suicide or being mysteriously murdered. Hey, that could be just a coincidence, or it could be a cover-up. Either way, it's some bull crap.
You have her saying under oath, Trump didn't do anything, and you have Maxwell. But here's the most important person you have, not under oath. Dershowitz. Dershowitz was Epstein's lawyer, and lawyer client confidentiality ends with death. Dershowitz went on television today, said, I have all of the Epstein stuff, and there isn't anything. And I asked Epstein directly, while I was representing him, whether Donald Trump was involved in any kind of untoward activity. And Epstein said no. So now you have the three principal players in this case, all saying the same thing. Yet the press is so irresponsible, so corrupt, so hateful, they will not even mention that. It's death by innuendo. That is what they are aiming for.
Bill said and just articulated is incredibly important. It is death by innuendo, according to the evidence that has already been put out there and what Bill articulated in terms of what Alan Dershowitz had to say, what Ms. Maxwell has had to say. Even Epstein, in the emails where he said the dog that's barked is Trump, he's indicating that he would talk. Well, why would Trump talk if he's the one that's being, why would he talk if he's the one that's being implicated? If anything, he would talk. Epstein came across as being fearful that Trump might talk about him, not about Trump. And so all of those things make sense. Here's the only thing that I would add to Bill in terms of this death by innuendo. Yeah, that's from the politicians. That's from them wanting to open the Epstein files. Got it. But there's an abundance of people out there, particularly those associated with the MAGA movement, that want it released as well. And they're not politicians. They're American citizens who have been very emphatic and adamant in their support of Trump, by and large, from a policy perspective, from his politics. But when it comes to this issue, they're not bending on that. Why? Because they're saying even if it's not him, it's power brokers that exist inside and outside our government that he's familiar with, and they don't want those folks protected. So to sit up here and act as if it's just a political thing and politicians that want to kill him by innuendo and stuff like that, that's not to say you're wrong, Bill, because it's certainly, they don't mind slicing the dice and Donald Trump up any chance they get. Fair enough. But that doesn't have anything to do with the average citizen out there that wants to find out about those individuals.
That's what I was saying. Everybody, we on Donald Trump today because it's big news. It's the president whose name is on those files. But in all actuality, there's a ton of pedophiles out here who got money to pay for young women that we need to. I don't give a damn the president. If the president's on there, he on there. Whatever. We can't stop that. But we gonna stop getting all these other pedophiles just because if the president is on there, then I mean it's self-explanatory. He's a pedophile. But if he's not on there, and if he didn't do anything wrong, put the files out so we can get these other people too. Because we can't just if we cover up for one, we cover up for all. Come on, man. It's that simple.
I'm going to tell you something about my relationship with Donald Trump that tells me he knew a lot about what Jeffrey Epstein was doing back in the day. So let's just start with these emails where Epstein says that Donald Trump was the dog that didn't bark, meaning Donald Trump knew something that was bad, because Epstein even references cops in that email. So this is not an innocuous thing that Donald Trump knew but hadn't yet talked about. It's bad. And then you have Epstein sending an email to Ghislaine Maxwell back in 2011 saying that Donald Trump spent hours at his house, and that with one of the victims, it was Virginia Giuffre. And Ghislaine says, yeah, I've been thinking about that. So there's no evidence in these emails that Donald Trump himself did anything wrong. But there is clear evidence that Donald Trump knew some of what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. And some of it was bad enough that the cops were involved. So now my relationship. I knew Donald Trump for many, many years. When he was doing The Apprentice and I was starting out with Celebrity Justice back in 2002, all the way through the time when he became president, we talked on the phone a lot. And he was a gossip. He loved to gossip. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, a lot of people gossip. He loved it. And look, I don't think I'm the only person who's saying this. I mean, people who knew him, reporters, he just loved to gossip. And I have to say that when you deal with him personally, he is a very charming, personable, and even funny guy. And that was kind of our relationship when I would call him about a story or whatever. And so, I'll give you an example. I remember there was one time when Donald Trump, I was actually in his office, and he pointed out the window to a building, and he said, I'm not going to name the person because I have no idea whether this is true or not, but a very famous person would bring women to the apartment building and have sex with them. So that was a gratuitous comment that had nothing to do with why I was there, but he just liked to gossip. So, the idea that Donald Trump would wall himself off from something scandalous that Jeffrey Epstein was doing and not want to know about it, I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. And I don't think many people are. I'm going to tell you something about my...
Did the president ever spend...
And Harvey is the messiest person in the world. Harvey put out Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash site. Harvey is messy. So Harvey tell you, if Harvey call you messy, then you messy.
Hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. It was...
But Trump didn't know that. Trump didn't know that. I didn't know anything was going on. Your press secretary says otherwise. She might be the next to go.
And given the effort Trump has already expended, though, to keep these files from getting out, given how engaged and otherwise fairly disengaged president seems to be in preventing even the discharge petition from moving forward in the House, begs the question, what else is in these files? Because for starters, there are the new emails that call into question this claim.
No, I had no idea.
That was Donald Trump not too long ago claiming he had no idea that his one-time best friend was a notorious pedophile. No idea at all. Of course, even back then, his denial was pretty hard to believe. But now we have the receipts. As Epstein said of Trump in 2019, quote, "Of course he knew about the girls. Of course he knew." That's just one of the emails in a massive trove of 23,000 documents obtained from the Epstein estate and released today by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. And while MSNBC has not independently confirmed the authenticity of those emails or the allegations, several of them suggest that Trump may have known a whole lot more than he let on, like a whole lot. For instance, in another email from 2019, Epstein talks about the prior investigation and charges against him before saying, redacted name, worked at Mar-a-Lago. Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period. The testimony of the houseman, John Alessi, confirmed it. He never got a massage. Now, putting aside whether or not Trump got a massage himself, the suggestion that Trump knew of it certainly raises a whole lot of questions. Then there's a 2011 email from Epstein to his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, in which Epstein writes, quote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim's name is redacted here, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned." Ghislaine Maxwell replies, "I've been thinking about that." Now, despite it sounding a whole lot like a Sherlock Holmes reference, we don't know exactly what Trump being the dog that hasn't barked means, but it also references a victim spending hours at Epstein's house with him. And that alone is huge news. And so are the numerous other emails giving us new insight into Epstein's thinking about Trump. There's a 2018 conversation about the hush money paid to Stormy Daniels on Trump's behalf, in which Epstein said, quote, "I know how dirty Donald is." That's quite a statement. Then there's this meme shared with Epstein by his brother in 2016 with the caption, "Would you trust this man with your daughter?" There's also an email suggesting that Epstein may have still been in contact with Trump even after Trump was elected in 2016. Just a week after that election, Epstein is asked where he is, and he replies, Trump Tower. Then there's some exchanges that in a trove of very creepy emails stand out as being particularly creepy and gross. Like a 2015 email in which Epstein references, quote, "my 20-year-old girlfriend in 93 that after 2 years I gave to Donald." Gave. What does gave mean? In that same exchange, he also says, "Would you like to see photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?" Now, I should be clear, this is a huge, an enormous trove of emails. And understandably, some are vague, some are kind of cryptic, and many are lacking full context and detail. So it's going to take time for committee members and their teams and journalists and people out there to sort through them and make complete sense of all of this. Of course, Donald Trump has long denied any wrongdoing in connection with Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, but it has never been more clear, and this was my takeaway from today, than it is today, why Trump may not want these files to be released. Listen to all the ones I just read you. That's just a sample of them. And these are also just the latest details we are getting from the Epstein estate. And
Yo, you know what's mind-boggling to me is that these are all emails in modern time. This is not like AOL emails. This is not like the first text messages that were sent in the everything you say online is being recorded. This is so dumb that you will speak this way online if you're doing criminal act. And they talk about these young people right now, how stupid they are with their criminal activities. Literally, you have 23,000 documents of conversations you have with people. That's a lot. That's a lot of talking on the phone, talking about hit dogs will holler. It's freaking gross.
New questions about President Trump's relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a new batch of private emails released by Democratic lawmakers on Wednesday, Epstein alleges Trump, quote, knew about the girls, though it's not clear exactly what that means.
The president was meeting with and calling Republicans who are supporting this bill to release Epstein case files. After those meetings, the Republicans did not remove their names from the bills. The White House says it wasn't a pressure campaign, but transparency.
More than 6 years after disgraced and convicted sex predator Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide, U.S. House Democrats released on Wednesday a series of his private messages mentioning President Trump.
I think pretty serious stuff, disturbing stuff in these emails.
The emails include this one from Epstein to his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, in which he wrote that Trump had spent hours at my house with one of Epstein's victims. The White House identified that victim as Virginia Giuffre, who said she was recruited by Maxwell while working at Mar-a-Lago and died by suicide in April.
Jeffrey was a sick pedophile.
But in a 2016 deposition, Giuffre said she didn't think Donald Trump participated in.
She died by suicide, but she was an ex-worker from Man, y'all lying to me. They be like they be like connect the dots, and the dots be like pop 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 pop. The dots are every fucking word. What do you mean connect the dots? Every dot is leading to another conspiracy or maybe some truth, maybe a lie. But whatever the case may be, y'all know the Epstein files are coming out. And regardless of if Donald Trump is innocent or not, I don't think he's 100% innocent. What I do think is there's a possibility that he didn't partake in the sleeping with the underage women, or the underage girls, because it was girls at the time. But now they're grown women. One of them is no longer here, or maybe more of them. But yeah, it's gonna all come out. I don't think Donald Trump was sleeping with the underage women. I mean, have you looked at Donald Trump's wives? Like, none of them say, I like younger women. I mean, Melania is younger, but she's still like 60. I mean, it's not like she's 20. Donald Trump has never been a Hugh Hefner. Did you see his first wife? Ugh, hideous, straight hideous. He'll be like, only a face a mother could love. Okay, listen, y'all playing a game. Trump wasn't into young women. Trump was a rapist, not a pedophile. There's a difference. That's funny. Are you serious? Were you paid to? Yeah, I was paid very handsomely. I was paid very handsomely by Trump's committee to talk bad about him. Or I was paid by Antifa. Antifa paid me to talk about Trump. You know who made Antifa? Republicans. Republicans made Antifa. Listen. Prince Andrew's name's on the list too. Like, oh my gosh. Prince Andrew is top rapist. Okay? Listen, man. Yeah, it befuddles me to see people who blame other people for shit that y'all ain't got nothing to do with. Why would y'all defend anybody who is being potentially accused of taking advantage of young women? That's so weird. Like, if it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. But I'm gonna wait for the facts. I'm gonna say what I say. I'm gonna give my opinion on what people say. But I'm not gonna tell somebody else, oh, you're wrong because you're defending this. No, I'm not, because I'm not defending none of that shit. I would never defend Boss Lady Mel, man. Thanks for the corgi. You know we love puppies around here. I would never defend a woman that's being abused sexually and all that. I would never defend that. That's crazy. But I definitely wouldn't go get online and get on somebody else's live and be like, hey, you're wrong because of this. Well, if I'm wrong, prove me that I'm wrong, because why would I be wrong when it's just an opinion? Opinions aren't wrong. They're not factual. But what I do say, I talk about the things that and if there is a factual situation, I don't have my opinion doesn't matter, because whatever happened is a fact. You know what is a fact is Donald Trump had a relationship with Epstein. You know what is a fact? Donald Trump knew about what Epstein was doing. And we've proven that fact. Donald Trump didn't say it out of his mouth, but his press secretary said, no, he was kicked out of Mar-a-Lago because he was a pedophile. That means Trump knew, so he kicked him out. But y'all say, oh, I'm going to believe Trump. I'm going to believe him. If I was Trump, bro, if I was Donald Trump, I would tell y'all, I do not know who Jeffrey Epstein is. I would tell you straight up, I'm going to lie to you till the day I die. If I knew Epstein and what he did, I'm denying it. I don't know it. I don't know it. whatever they say is a lie. Don't believe them. I never met that man in my life. I would go that far as be like, I never met. They got pictures of me and Trump. I'm like, it's 2025. It's AI everywhere. That could be AI picture. I've never met Epstein in my life. I will lie. I will lie till I die. But y'all not okay with that lying. I am. I mean, no, I ain't okay with lying about the pedophilia, but I mean, in general, if I got caught up in some shit. But anyway, I wasn't even gonna go live tonight, but y'all got that out of me, so thank y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all, even though y'all love to hate me and all the love that I do get from all my everyday people. You know what? I'ma sing Butterfly in the Sky. I could go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. Read it in rainbow. Cause some of y'all people who hate me so much, y'all can't even spell. But I wouldn't even call it out on y'all because I'm just trying to get through the show. But y'all can't read or spell. So y'all can be on Epstein Island with Trump and his mushroom penis all y'all want to. But I'm not falling for the norm. I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to do it well. So if y'all want to come back and get more, and y'all can say what y'all want to do. If y'all want to come back and get more of this smoke, y'all willing to, because we're going to do it again. Not tomorrow, because I ain't got time for y'all. But sometime soon. Just tune in. Peace. Thank you, mods. A minute with me. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitch, because we over there keeping it lit every day, all day. Not every day, all day, but we over there on Twitch. Everyday PJ on Twitch, man. We keep it lit. I'm not playing. Drop some butterflies in the chat. Hey, shout out to Luke Wagner. Okay, Mega M Bond. Thanks, Boss Lady Mel. You know, we be lit though. Y'all just, some of y'all be just afraid of the truth, and y'all don't want to hear it, so y'all blame me. You Trump, Donald Trump deranged syndrome or whatever the fuck that means. It don't mean a damn thing. It don't mean nothing, honestly. Because y'all could talk about me. I could roast y'all all day, but I'd rather not because, you know, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I'm going to roast you for. Your comment, oh my God. Your comment was so bad. That's what it don't, man. I just come back tomorrow. You can talk all your shit all you want to. Cause come back tomorrow. That's all you want. All you gonna do is talk shit, but you ain't gonna change no policy. You ain't gonna do nothing. That's the thing. We can sit on here and talk shit about other people, but you talking shit about another American. I'm pro-American. I'm pro-America all day. But you be like, oh yeah, I'm pro-America. I ain't never gave $40 billion to Argentina, but you call you. You'll talk shit to an American, but you down for a person giving $40 billion to a person in Argentina when currently South America is sending more people to America illegally than any other country in the world. But you're pro-America. Dude, you full of shit. That is how full of shit y'all are. I'm pro-America. No, we don't want nobody south of a border, but I'm going to give $40 billion to Argentina. That makes absolutely no sense. But you know what? I don't make the rules. I just pay my tax dollars. You know what I'm saying? I pay my fair share. You know how much I paid in taxes? You wouldn't even want to know how much I paid in federal taxes this year. So shut the fuck up, because you don't mean nothing. Okay, because if we talking about Americans, I'm Captain America. You are, what's the new Captain America, the black guy? You're that man. Go to the back of the bus, cause you don't fucking matter. You matter of fact, you didn't even get a sequel. You didn't even get the real Captain America. Me, myself personally, because what I put America first. I got sequels. You don't even get a sequel. But you love to hate on me. I bet he over there sitting over there punching at his TV like, if he won't listen to me. He won't listen to me. Man, I just be on here joking, man. Not joking. I tell the truth, but I be joking. So I don't know. I don't know what y'all want to. Some of y'all be mad. People be mad. Oh, you. But I honestly, I care a lot about what happens in America, but if you want me to sit over here and be like Stephen A. Smith, or if you want me to be like Bill O'Reilly, or if you want me to be like anybody else, I'm not gonna be that. I'm gonna be me, and I'll tell you how I feel. I think everybody y'all be so worried about what other people think and say about y'all that y'all think that what you say and think about other people will affect them because of what people say and think to you and how it affects you. That shit don't affect me. That's why I tell my minds don't even block y'all stupid asses, because y'all can't do nothing to me. What you gonna do, pull up? I will slap the taste out your mouth. But y'all won't do that because we not doing that. We on the damn internet. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So you can have fun, talk shit. Just don't be disrespectful. You can talk shit. Don't call me an N-word. But that would be crazy. Get this Negro. Hit 19 more likes, man. Hit the like button, man. Y'all come here laughing and joking and talking shit. Don't even hit the like button, goof ass. I mean, even if you don't like me, you like enough to where you can be like, oh, okay, this is a safe space. Hit that like button if you know what's good for you, because we'll come back. We'll come back another time. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday. And what I got to do tomorrow? I don't know. I'm going to Mississippi next. I'm going to Mississippi next week. So if any of y'all next week. So if any of y'all in Mississippi and y'all want to let me use y'all's Wi-Fi so I can go live again. I know Mississippi Wi-Fi terrible, but like mine, my Wi-Fi ain't even terrible. I think TikTok, ever since America bought TikTok been shit. Ever since America bought TikTok, it's been shit. That's why I'm glad I never became a TikTok influencer or whatever, because I was like, shit. If you ain't messy on TikTok, ain't nobody fucking watching you. Nobody's watching you. At all. It wasn't money given to Argentina. It was a money exchange. Bro, how could you... She said it wasn't money given to Argentina. It was a money exchange. So they gave us... Okay, listen. Put it like this. I bought some Bitcoin, right, the other day. I bought some Bitcoin that was worth 0.000, I was like 0.000000000, like 135. And I got like $2 million worth of, I got not $2 million, I got 2 million Bitcoin. I got 2 million. So my goal is, if that, it's not Bitcoin, but it's cryptocurrency. If that currency hits $1, I got $2 million. That is a hard possible. So that's what America did. America bought some cheap ass Bitcoin that they only spent $20 on, and they got $2 million worth of worthless ass cryptocurrency. So, all right, but just say it's a fair exchange. All right, it is what it is. But immediately after America lost that purchase, after America made that purchase, they lost about $5 billion. Immediately after they made that purchase, Argentina's stock dropped immediately. Immediately they lost money. Bro, shut up. That's why it was an exchange for currency. Oh, yeah, okay. The worst currency in the world is a great exchange. That is so stupid. That is so dumb. What to do, Brandon Mendoza? America's saving. Hey, if y'all know what's good for y'all, invest in Donald Trump's World Liberty Finance. I'm not gonna tell y'all no more. Bro, I ain't investing shit I won't miss. But I tell you what, you ain't finna. Damn Donald Trump, you ain't finna miss me on this. World Liberty Finance. Shit. You think he the only person gonna get rich off this shit? His family? Bitch, we all gotta get rich. But I'm telling you, watch the dip. Watch the dip. Because it's a Ponzi scheme. But when that shit start going up, that money start going up. And you've invested $100, $200, and your shit up to $20,000, $40,000. Shit. Take the money and run, fucking. Like, hey, cause it ain't worth shit, but it's a great Ponzi scheme. I'm telling y'all. Remember Dogecoin? Remember Dogecoin? Man, I spent like not my last 300, but it probably was my last 300. Whatever the case may be, I spent $300 on Dogecoin. And I was able to get like 50, 60,000 Dogecoins. Bro, that shit got up to like, man, I made like 30,000. I cashed out. I was like, man, fuck this shit. I'm cashing out. This shit don't even seem too good to be true. I said I only had $300. So 30,000, it was like 30 and some change. I said, man, I'm cool, regardless if it fall or not. And so a day later, that shit went up to, if I would have kept my money in, I would have had like $100,000. I was like, God damn. I was like, fuck, that's crazy. But then 3 days later, it was like I would have made 100,000, but I didn't. I stuck with the 30. That shit it went up. The very next night, so 3 days after I cashed out, that shit went down so far. It's like it went boop, boop, and it just crashed out. Bro, I would have lost my entire shit. And I would have lost everything. And I don't know what made the stock go down like that, but I know some people that lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they was trying to become billionaires overnight, and they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on Dogecoin. And I made a grip. I'm talking about I made a grip. I was like, damn, I'm glad I made that. But if I would have stayed one more day, I would have made 100,000. But if had I stayed, my greed would have took over me, and I would have lost everything. And that's what a lot of people, everybody saw that first hit, and they was like, oh, let me take the next. They saw that next hit where it was like rich out of this world. They was like, oh, we made it, we made it, we made it. Shit. It's people that still holding on to that. Matter of fact, I can show y'all. I can show y'all how much I got left still from that same day. I wish I could show y'all that. I wish I could show y'all how much. I still got thousands of Dogecoin or whatever it is. I still got thousands of it. Let's see. No, I got 132 of them. I got 132 of them because I sold everything else. And look, that shit ain't worth shit. I ain't touched that shit since. I had a couple thousand of them. I ain't touched that shit since. I was like, man, I ain't touching that shit. But I had like let's say 130. I had some thousands in it. But yeah, shit long. Anyway, everyday people. I didn't show y'all the game. What about NFTs? NFTs are trash. NFTs are trash. Y'all wanna know, man, I'm gonna show y'all my money. I'm gonna show y'all. Cause y'all think I be lying. Y'all think I be lying. That money be out there. Y'all be playing. I know some money. But the investments right now is trash. But if you investing, if you are investing, invest long term, and go take high risk investments right now. Take high risk investments. If you want to make money right now, change everything to high risk. You know why? Because regardless if you like Trump or not, motherfucking stocks is rising. Right before the president elections come up in 2027, change your high risk to moderate risk. Because maximize all your risk right now. Don't, after Trump leave office, leave that shit, because everybody banks on Trump. Everybody banks on Trump doing good for the economy. And if he do bad for the economy, all those high risk, you're gonna lose your ass. You're gonna lose your ass, your titties, your clothes, everything. And then, so this is what I want to tell y'all to do, right? Man, because I was just like, man, I just had to figure some shit out. I was like, this shit ain't working. I basically took all my money together, and I was like, man, I gotta pay my mortgage. So I know how to pay my mortgage because I make the money, of course. But I was like, how do I make money on my mortgage every month and never lose a penny? And so I had to take all my money and create a fund that my money goes into. It's called it's a money market account. And it only get like 1.4. Now, mind you, they be lying. These banks be lying. So you got to call them out on their shit. When you see shit, you be like, this, I looked at the percentage rates. This ain't the percentage rate. But then they be like, well, there's a contingency. There's only so much where it can make so much a day. And I'm like, so then you not giving me the money. Anyway, that's a long, deeper conversation. But I caught them lying to me. And I was like, well, how do I maximize my money? And this is how they told me to maximize my money. It's in money market account. So I was like, okay, all right, so if I put all my money in there, then what? They was like, okay, you'll get a residual every month. And I was like, well, is it as much as investing? So should I invest? Investing is good, but you're not going to get all your money back from investing. You only get your money from dividends. So you actually have to have, so the most I get back on a dividend every month is like $2 and something. But that $2 is reinvested into the, y'all seen the money, like it's there. The $2 is reinvested back into the shit. But then you gotta understand, all of it takes losses, whatever. So you might have a good dividend here, you might have a bad or a decent dividend over here, but that company took a loss. So now you don't even have that money. You got the stock, but you get the dividend for the stock. Now that you have all that, what you need to do is take the money that you have, put it in a money market, and pay your bills out of that market. But you have to have enough in there for 1 month, and then put the same amount in there for the second month. So now you doubled your money. Now you're making about $10 to $15 every month on your bills. So then whenever it comes time, eventually, I mean, you're going to always pay bills. So eventually that money stacks up. Eventually you'll be able to pay your bills with the interest that you've accrued from that money. Bam. You do that again. So now in 15 years, you done built up about $15,000 just paying your bills. Just paying your bills. Because you started a money market account and you bringing the money out of that account. Instead of just paying bills every day out of your checking account. Matter of fact, when I was buying my house, they was like, you move your money too much. And I was like, why would I want to keep my money in a checking account that makes 0.0 something percent interest? That's stupid. The brokest people in the world keep their money in the account, or better yet, they keep it under the mattress. Yeah, keep your money under the mattress. It does nothing for you. You're worried about the banks closing and losing money, when in fact you're losing money every day that you keep your money out of a profit-driven account. You losing money every day. But anyway, y'all don't know that shit. I'm trying to tell y'all. Everybody be like, oh yeah, I told y'all we be on Twitch every day. we be on Twitch every day. But yeah, I'd rather come see this political shit. So I don't know. I think the content over there is way more lit because, like I said, I say shit and I do shit that I wouldn't normally say or do on YouTube. So it be on Twitch. But anyway, I gave everybody a dose of game. I wasn't even supposed to give y'all game because, but thank y'all for watching though. I do appreciate it, but I'll be saying some real shit. I'm telling y'all, I'm not here for no reason. I'm here for a reason. But I had to listen to myself. Hey, Lee Hall, I heard a new slogan. It was like, she can't be with me if she ain't 250 or something like that. I gotta go back to my homeboy and be like, what did he say? He said she ain't with me if she ain't 250. I was like, God damn. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. If walls could talk. I ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah, 6 Central Time. We be on live every day around 6 or 7. You know, and then after I do that, I'll be like, I'm gonna come live. But sometimes I'll be like, man, I'll be tired. No, like right now, I'm tired as hell. I gotta be at work. I gotta get up for work at like 5 a.m. It's 10:48, and I'm finna go edit some more videos and edit more videos, upload more videos, all this shit. I'm about to do all that shit. I sure will. I'm about to be up all night. Then I gotta turn around and be at work. But this weekend, that's why weekends I be sleep. I be like, man, I'm tired of. I went live. I went hard all week. I also got my kids, so you know I be doing shit with them. You know. $39 you all size with me. Built like a box. Them girls is built to last. Hey, hey Lee, you ain't never been ate till you get ate by a woman who like to eat. I'm talking about, bro, she'll do you something bad. Anyway, let me get off this live. I'll let y'all tomorrow. Alright, I'll let y'all do a live, man. I'm gonna send y'all a link. Don't be scared. It's just us players. Don't be scared. Because we're going to definitely turn up. Alright, I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Or just watch the videos tomorrow because I ain't coming live tomorrow. I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to lie tomorrow.